General Motors is making a huge statement with their new 2024 Chevy Silverado EV pickup truck. They say that it's capable of up to 450 miles of range on a full charge. Well, I'm here in the real world. I want to put it to the test. So I'm going to run a Denver 100 range test in a brand new truck and see exactly what it's capable of on the highway. Let's get going. So this will not be a charging session test. This is a range test. Why? Well, because I don't have access to a 350 kilowatt charger right now. Denver 100 loop is when we run it from the Boulder direction. Most of the chargers here, all of them, are 150 kilowatt chargers. So as I muscle this cable in here, I'm gonna start my session and I'm gonna go up to 80% charge and I'll tell you exactly what's going on. So I'm starting at 59%. I'm gonna initiate charge on my app and I'm gonna let it charge up to 80%. This is kind of mimicking maybe what a typical short road trip would be like. I'm not going to 100%, but after completing this 113 mile loop, I should be able to tell you precisely how much energy I used, and you can calculate that based on the battery size to see exactly what's happening. There's 159, 53 kilowatt. So it's trying to max out this particular station, which is 150 kilowatt capable. But as you can see, this station is fully utilized. 4 stalls, 4 vehicles, and 1 waiting. So there's a lot happening here this morning. So my charging session is basically over. I've been here for 27 minutes, pulling about 120 kilowatt average, and I went from 59% to 81%. And it's time for me to leave, because I wanted to leave at about 80%. So I'm going to stop the charge. I'm gonna stop it. I paid about $24 because I wasn't using membership, Electrify America membership. But now it's time for me to put some miles behind my belt. Okay, so I am fully charged. 393 miles it's predicting with 81% battery. And I'm ready to go. Here are a few specs about this truck. It's got 2 electric motors, one in the front, one in the rear. So it has all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive capability. Total power is about 515 horsepower and 600 pound-feet of torque. So that's plenty. This truck basically has the maximum battery capacity that they offer. The exact capacity they don't state, but we estimate it to be closer to 212 or 213 kilowatt hours, which is pretty huge. It's the most currently available, and that's why, partially why they're also suggesting huge range. What I'm doing today is I'm gonna go about 113 miles. This is a Denver 100 loop. It's basically a highway ring road all the way around Denver, Colorado. And I'm doing this because there's almost no traffic, so I can maintain a steady speed and give you pretty precise information. And also when I get back, after about 113 miles, I'll be able to tell you precisely how much energy I used, so we can calculate and see what's possible with this battery and with this truck. So let me get on the road and report about what's happening. All right, now I'm on the highway, so that was about 1.5 miles from the charging station to the highway, so very short distance. So now I can do about 110 miles basically purely on the highway. So this is really a road trip review range test. I have nothing really in this truck other than my video gear and just me. I do have a tonneau cover. This truck belongs to Chevrolet. They loaned it to us at TFL Truck and TFL Studios, oldtfl.com, for real world testing. We often get loaner vehicles from manufacturers like this. Of course, we buy a few vehicles ourselves as well, but that's besides the point. And this is how I'm running. Basically with a tonneau cover, I have full air pressure in the tires. This truck is all stock, just the way it comes from Chevrolet. My PSI level is about 60 PSI. This is a really heavy truck as it is. The curb weight of this truck is around 8,500 pounds. So this is basically a diesel. Think of it as like a diesel heavy duty 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck curb weight for a 4x4 heavy duty truck. But it has lower payload and towing than a heavy duty truck. There'll be other versions of this Silverado EV with far greater towing and payload numbers, but this one, this 4WT model that you see right here, has 1,422 pounds of payload and a 10,000 pound towing capacity. If you bought a 3WT, you would get a smaller battery, 393 claimed miles of total range, and 12,500 pounds of towing and 1,750 pounds of payload. So I think the 3WT in my book would be a little bit closer to what I would want to buy, because I get more payload, more towing, and still a lot of range to drive basically anywhere, just for me personally, that I would want to go. So I have completed about 78 miles of my total loop just for today. And I can report that currently the trip mirror says I've been using about 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour consumption, which I think is a pretty good result. Right now I'm going slightly slower speeds because I'm passing through Golden, Colorado, and it kind of connects the major highway system south of me to the north of me. So I have to go through a couple of traffic lights, and then I can regain and get back on the highway and get up to speed again. But I've been averaging over 63 miles per hour as police is going by me. It took me about 1 hour and 13 minutes to go 79 miles. So I'm moving at a pretty good pace. Right now going about 50 miles an hour, 55. So there you have it, small update. But I also want to use this time to tell you a little bit more about competition, right? So you might be wondering, all right, so GM has this big battery. They're starting to sell these work trucks, WTs, and then they'll have an RST and other vehicles like the GMC Sierra EV. What is the competition doing? Well, Rivian is working really hard, and they're just about to come to market with a dual motor, not the quad motor, but the dual motor R1T electric truck with maximum pack battery. That max pack is supposed to be rated at 410 miles of maximum range on the same duty cycle. And so not quite as high as 450 promise here from General Motors, but still a lot of usable range and power there in the Rivian. F-150 Lightning, well, maximum battery in the F-150 Lightning currently is about 134 kilowatt hours and about 300 miles, maybe 320 miles for some models, or 330 miles for some models of the F-150 Lightning EV truck. So really, as far as pickup trucks are concerned, specifically for electric vehicles, GM is currently has the highest range. So we'll see how this plays out in the coming 2 to 3 years. All right, I've completed my Denver 100 loop, but on this Sunday it was a little bit of an odd one because there was an accident on the highway. I had to go around the highway a bit, and I actually ended up going 128 miles, not 113 like I was hoping to, but more miles the better, right? So let's take a look what happened, how much energy I have used, and what has the truck is telling me, and then I can plug it in the charger and see how it's charging, or at least how it's starting to charge. I have this Rivian truck next to me. All right, let me show you guys what's happening. All right, so I went 128.4 miles. My average is 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour, 2 hours and 20 minutes ish. And then here it's saying "55 kilowatt hours used for propulsion and 0.8 kilowatt hours used for air conditioning and battery conditioning." By the way, if I use my navigation system and I tell it to go to a fast charger, it will start conditioning the batteries, and it says expect a loss of range. It could take up to an hour. You will receive a notification once the battery conditioning is complete. So if you are on a long road trip and you are navigating using the built-in Google Maps with the Chevrolet Silverado EV, then yes, battery conditioning is available. You could lose range like it says, but once you get to the charger, your charging speed should be very, very fast, and it's capable of up to 350 kilowatt of charging. 57. So I went from 81 to 57, so that's what, 24% of battery? So I used 24% of my battery to go 128 miles. It's currently charging at about 161 kilowatts, which means it's maxing out the station pretty much and pulling as much energy as possible. So if I can find a hyper fast one, 350 kilowatt, I could probably half the time that I spent here at the charger today. So I used about a quarter of the battery, about 24% of it, to go 128.5 miles on the highway. Mostly highway, but also some city. So if I multiply that by 4 to get the full range, what? I was thinking it was gonna be closer to 500 miles, and it's 514 miles according to my drive today. I went 75 miles per hour. There were some sections of 65 miles an hour. There were some sections of 55 miles an hour. I hit a little bit of traffic. So I did a little bit of everything, but mostly I was on the highway. So 450 miles, I think Chevrolet was being really conservative. This truck is capable on the road trip of a lot more than that. 514 miles of range, but it will cost you. 4WT has a sticker price of $79,000 and basically 80. $79,800 is the sticker price of this truck. 4WT with a maximum battery capacity. So yes, it's expensive, it's quite capable, and it can go a long distance on a charge. As always, check out TFL.com for everything automotive in one place, because we have up to 8 channels, 2 websites, and 2 podcasts, so you can get everything right there.